Hello YouTube, it's a chilly morning. It's only like 64 degrees in my shop. It's only going to be 83 today. So we're taking advantage of this cool June mornings to get some stuff done. This afternoon we'll be primering the outside of the hood. So that's acetone. Okay, there's before and after. See that? Before and after look. That's the best I can get that soot. Okay, trying to get every dirt, everything down inside of there. So we wanted to show you before and after picture using acetone. You know, wear your proper protective gloves and stuff. Those cheap gloves, they'll eat through it, I'm warning you. Those really cheapy gloves that aren't for chemicals. We have one pair of the good gloves left we're going to put on. They're like the purple nitro or whatever. But we went through this much so far in the bottle. Can you see the level? We might make it through the bottle. So that's only $1 worth from Dollar Tree. We'll primer the bare spots. So let's get this clean and we'll show you when it's all cleaned up. And we're going to use gray primer in here. Something kind of reflective. I don't know. My idea was maybe put some silver aluminum paint to reflect the heat kind of off from the engine. But nah, we're not going to get too picky. We just don't want to use our, we don't want to use our primer up, our brown primer, because it might take the whole can to primer this hood. That's what I'm trying to say. Spit it out. You can do this. Talk. Learn how to talk. There's where headlights go. The old gaskets, we're going to leave them. They're kind of like a cushiony part. And they're not to seal the headlights. Those have a separate gasket. You'll see that someday. We got to make a grill. One of these bolts is busted. There's 3 of them. We're just going to go with it. We may spot weld a bolt on there before we get the front ready to I doubt it today. We do not want to get out the welder. 3 bolts will hold it in there. We'll hold the front grill, whatever we use. We'll worry about it another day. We can always go back later on if we feel like it and weld a bolt back there. Just weld a stud to that. We don't want no holes drilled in the hood. We do have nuts to fit all these. I think they're number 10. Don't quote me. They're out of my little cheapy Harbor Freight bolt kit, so we got plenty of nuts. So, okay, enough yakking. Let's clean this up, and then we'll go outside and we'll shoot this with whatever. Probably gray primer off in here, because we got plenty of that. So, let's get to work. Let's get this done so we can primer this afternoon. And that's the best we can do. We did pretty good in here, though. We tried on that stuff. If you haven't seen that in the video yet, you're not paying attention. Not being sarcastic, but I've showed it too much. How I plugged that hole. There's a few dents and dings in here. Like along here, I need to straighten this. There's a few little bad spots. Beware of stuff like this. I caught my glove on, see this? I'm taking all these sharp edges off the grinder. I caught my glove on there and it poked me in the hand. Just a little, can you see a little bitty spot there? It just poked me through my glove. That's not giving you work with stuff like acetone. So here's the gloves I was using. These purple heavy duty nitro whatever, not just a cheapy latex. And this is what your rags are going to look like. And do not dispose these in a trash can. Late afternoon I did this and I put it out in set it in my barbecue and closed the lid. So don't just dispose them in a wastebasket. They could flare up and flame up. Anything with solvents and stuff. So there you go. We're going to do a little bit of light sanding in here, primer some bare spots. We're not doing anything with this except touch up the spots. We'll probably use our brown primer on that. But down here we're going to use gray primer. So we're going to prime back in there just to kind of preserve it. So stay tuned. This is going to be a long video today if I don't cut these little clips short. Okay, a real quick clip. Get this done quick. We epoxied those holes. We chamfered, funnel shaped, whatever you want to call it that. The other side, we used one of the brushes Road King sent me as an applicator. And even if that hardens, it'll still work like a little stick. Acetone probably cleaned that stuff out of there. Yeah, that's got epoxy, and there's masking tape on the other side. We'll give you a little quick clip of that. Okay, so we got masking tape on that side. Then we'll peel it off here later and show you before we get ready to prime, because all we're doing today, you can do this, all we're going to do today is primer the inside of the hood. Not really in the outside. We might do a little body work on this and Bondo. So it's not going to be primer today. So back to work. And no, acetone will not dissolve that epoxy, but it still makes a nice little applicator. I'm going to pound that down with a hammer a little bit. I'm always looking for a stick. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's stiff. And then we can always clean it off. That worked really good. It worked really good when the bristles were soft to get in there. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on. Let's get this job done today. Too many little things deter me from getting my primering done. Not quite level, but a little putty on there. It'll work. Okay, we're done with the inside primering. I wore a mask and I'm still choking on dust. I could yell focus, but I don't think it will. There we go. We have any leftover paint, we'll paint the inside. And it will probably be a lighter color because it's going over light gray, not brown. Got a little more sanding work to do there. And we'll spin you around and show you my body work where the exhaust port hole was right there. Okay, I ground that crack out, made a little V, put some Bondo on it because this dips in, so you can get away with cheating on stuff. This whole thing dips in 2 ways. But I used some of this magic sandpaper, 80 grit and 36 grit that was sent to me by a good YouTube friend. It's almost like magic sandpaper. It will rip that Bondo down so fast. And then I'll take this to it, okay, the 80 grit. Then I'll go to 220 and get all the scratches out. And these are pretty good pads. This is almost better than buying some sandpaper off my Orbit sander. So that is really, I'm going to try to get it close. It's really super smooth. I cannot find an edge. So when I primer it, it will look okay. Because you can tell my other body work, you can see an edge on there, and I'm not going to redo it. So thanks for watching. Oh, don't forget this. That's them holes. Where them bolt holes were with the epoxy on the inside. Yeah. We'll snap a couple photos of them too, at least this side. So thanks again. We're out of here. We're going into the air conditioning.